It is not often that a film breaks away from convention and dares to offer something new to the audience. But when it does, it is indeed a celebration for someone who truly believes in the art form that is cinema. Someone who needs a respite from the onslaught of loud and gaudy tentpole films that are the only ones that is assured a theatrical release in these pandemic times. Someone like me. Hi, I'm Kishore and this is Moving Images. Kadaisi Vivasaayi is Manikandan's fourth film as a writer, director and cinematographer in a span of just half a decade, and he is already exhibiting a maturity and sensibility in the way he approaches his cinema that is on par with the greats like Balu Mahendra. Kadaisi Vivasaayi is about an old farmer who is tasked with growing paddy for their deity and the various hurdles he and the village has to face to grow and harvest the crop. The film does not have a structure or acts or even a hero's journey to tell its story, for the film itself is about stories. Stories about the ancestors of the people who are revered as gods and kept alive in their memories. Stories of the knowledge about craft that is passed down from those ancestors. Stories about the land, the birds, and the mountains. The stories are the main theme of the film. The film is so rich thematically that entire discourses can be dedicated to exploring the themes. But today, I'm going to talk about this small side story about Ramaiyah and what led to one of the greatest scenes in my experience as a filmgoer. Ramaiyah, played by Vijayakumar, is an enigma. The love of his life poisoned herself and died, and ever since then, Ramaiyah has believed her spirit is with him. He walks everywhere carrying 2 bags full of various possessions. Ramaiyah himself is shown wearing multiple clothes and watches and other knickknacks all at the same time. A man with so many worldly possessions, he has one otherworldly possession too, his dead love. He gets angry when someone denies her existence and gets overjoyed when someone accepts it. Now Ramaiyah's story does not move the main plot forward. You can even take out his scenes completely and it would not affect the film one bit. But Ramaiyah's story is not connected by plot, but by theme with the film. The theme about stories. Ramaiyah is seen as a madman by some of the villagers, and when he shares the story about him meeting Bill Gates, he is ridiculed.
Bill Gates நிக்கிறாரு.
Bill Gates அப்பா Bill Gates பேசுனியாப்பா?
நான் பேசல. அவர்தான் என்கிட்ட பேசினார்.
But turns out he was indeed speaking the truth.
Microsoft owner Bill Gates வந்திருக்காரு. ஆமாங்க.
This little event serves as a way to tell the audience that the stories Ramaiyah say, however fantastical, might also be true.
முருகன் கோச்சிட்டு போயிட்டு பழனியில கோமரத்தை கட்டிட்டு குச்சியோட பழனியில போய் நின்ட்டானா. அதான் அவனை பார்த்து கேட்கலாம்னு போனேன்.
என்ன சொன்ன?
He later shares a story about his conversation with Lord Muruga with Mayandi. Although the idea of Ramaiyah conversing with the deity might seem far-fetched, somehow you can't shake the feeling that there might be some truth in it too. So the scene I want to discuss starts with Ramaiyah sitting down to eat and seeing an old man eat leftovers from a trash bin. Ramaiyah asks him not to eat the leftovers and gives him his food instead. But the old man refuses to take the food from Ramaiyah and instead asks him to throw the food in the bin, which he later takes out and starts eating. As Ramaiyah is about to leave, the old man calls him and blesses him with some sacred ash. He then glances sideways and hands Ramaiyah some more of the ash and asks him to give it to the girl sitting by the tree Ramaiyah was sitting at.
அங்கே ஒருத்தி இருக்கா?
He asks Ramaiyah if he has forgotten about the girl there, his dead love.
மறந்துட்டியா?
Ramaiyah is overwhelmed hearing this from the old man and holds tears in his eyes. Why does Ramaiyah cry here? Here is my theory. The film has established that Ramaiyah might be telling the truth, no matter how hard to believe they are. But his claim of having his dead love always beside him might be something that even Ramaiyah has doubts about. He is seen sharing his food and thoughts with her, but he also seems to care about others believing that she exists. This is why he is shown to get angry or happy when people don't or do believe him. But that doubt in his mind, the smallest of smallest doubt, weighs on him like the huge bags he carries around. The scene where an old man confirms the truth to Ramaiyah is when he finally feels relieved. He finally overcomes his thoughts and finds peace. He leaves the mortal plane, leaving behind his possessions, to become a god himself, since a god is just a man who has overcome his thoughts. And he leaves in a fantastical way that now he will be remembered through a story of how he magically disappeared. Maybe he turned into a peacock that wakes up Mayandi, or the one who signals the coming of the rain. Was the old man Lord Muruga himself, in the same guise Ramaiyah saw him last?
முருகன் கோச்சிட்டு போயிட்டு பள்ளியில் கோமரத்தை கட்டிட்டு குச்சியோட பள்ளியில் போய் நின்ட்டானா.
We may never know, but we only know that no matter how hard it is to believe, it just might be true. Until next time, this is Kishore signing off saying,
எவ்வளவு பேடி படங்கள் பார்த்திருக்கோம், எவ்வளவு பேடி படங்கள் சுத்தி ஓடிக்கிட்டு இருக்கு, எவ்வளவு மோசமான படங்களை நம்ம கொண்டாடி தீர்த்திருக்கோம். இந்த படத்தை கொண்டாடலனா, இந்த படத்தை எடுத்த மணிகண்டனை கொண்டாடலனா நம்மளுக்குலாம் எந்த ஒரு ஸ்பிரிச்சுவல் தன்மையும் நம்மளுக்குள்ள இல்லைன்னு அர்த்தம்.